So you're that person that is afraid to say no when someone asks you to do something that you don't want to. You're that person that will always put everyone else's wishes first and just forget about yourself. You're that person who will not be able to speak up for yourself because you're afraid you'll not be liked by others. And I guess that you're also that person who's starting to notice that this behavior won't take you anywhere. That always trying to please everybody else won't take you anywhere. Look, you get nothing from making everyone wishes, okay? It will not make people like you more. It will not make you have more friends. The only thing it will bring you is pain and stress, and that's it. The reason some people are people pleasers is because they are afraid they'll be disliked by other people. To the point where they'll do anything, even if it's against their own will, just to not be disliked by other people. And I'm sorry, but nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to set the boundaries that you have set yourself ages ago. Nobody's coming to speak up for yourself when someone's mistreating you and you still do nothing about it. And nobody's coming when you're getting disrespected and you just swallow it up. So the first thing you have to understand is that you are the one who take actions for yourself. Okay, listen, you're in a comfort zone. I'm sorry to say that, but you're in a comfort zone. And I'm going to say something that a lot of people refuse to listen. But once that you realize the position you're in and you don't work towards changing it, you're accepting it. Working out to change your behavior, because this behavior is a comfort zone. It takes pain to heal the injuries, but no one ever said there would be a painless process. And if you're not prepared or you're not willing to go through that pain to change, it also means that you should not complain about the position you're in. So yeah, if you're not prepared, then be ready to having people telling you what to do, how to think, be ready to have unstable relationships, be ready to have a low self-esteem. I swear, if you can't even stand up for yourself at daily situations, it only shows how low is your self-respect. And I'm sorry, but self-respect is the base for everything. So it's time to let go out of this mindset. If you want to thrive for better, if you want to be respected, you will have to go through that pain. Life is like this, but you can't just embrace recognizing the issue and not working on it. So hi, my name is Lua and welcome to my channel. First and most obvious thing is people take advantage of you. When you don't have any self-respect, when you can't barely even stand up for yourself, people treat you like trash. Because that's how you're letting them treat you. You attract fake friends that only want your favors. You attract two-faced people that only want to drain something from your life. But you have to understand that the reason that this is happening is your fault. You're the one letting other people treat you this way. You're the one letting other people disrespect you simply because you can't set basic boundaries. You're hanging out with people that you don't like simply because you're afraid to show your dislike by them and not get the approval that you so want. And you may ask yourself, but how do I do this? How do I stand up for myself? It's not that simple, right? First, listen to this. When someone comes up to you and asks you personal questions or anything that you don't want to answer, what do? You don't answer it, right? Then why that's not what you're doing? Listen, it's okay if you don't want to talk about something or do something that someone else wants you to. If you don't want to talk about something with somebody, you have three options. One, you can ignore them. Two, you can tell them how you feel, like, no, I don't want to talk about this. I don't feel comfortable talking about it. And three, you can answer to their question that you don't want to and just feel bad about it afterwards. Same thing with doing a favor. When somebody asks you to do something that you don't want to, will you stop your whole life just to please them or just do something that you're against just to pleasure someone else? So the first thing that you need to realize is that it's okay if you don't want to do something. If it's answer a question, if it's doing a favor, whatever. Not doing what this person wants does not make you a bad person. You have to start putting your wishes at first, your prioritizations. This is one of the first steps of starting to set boundaries. Prioritize yourself. Yourself comes first. People come in second place. And just listen. If this person ever do a scene or get mad that you don't want to do what they're asking you to, and where I come from, this is called disrespect. And you're not letting other people disrespect you anymore. And I know that a reason that some of you don't speak up for yourself is that you're afraid that you hurt the other person's feelings. Oh, you may think like, oh, but they have a tough past, but their social life is complicated, but they have a mental illness or whatever. So what? Everybody has problems. Most people have mental illness. That's not a green card for someone to just straight up disrespect you. Unless that person is actually insane, which is probably not the case, their mental illness or tough past does not justify anything. So don't gaslight yourself or let other people gaslight you into thinking that their shitty attitude can be justified by their mental illness or whatever, because it can't. So if this person is bullying you, if this person is disrespecting you or hurting you in some way, why should we empathize with them so bad and just forget about you, the one getting hurt in the situation? Why should you care so much about what they're going through right now in a way of trying to justify what they're doing to you? And the thought of, oh, but I wouldn't do this to them, why are they doing this to me, or why would they do this to me, is bullshit. You may be a good person, you may feel actual empathy towards others, you may be a respectful person, but that does not apply to everyone. In fact, that does not apply to most of people nowadays. One of the steps to start to change this whole thing is applying self-love. Once you have self-love, you have self-respect. It comes with it. Just the way that you respect somebody that you really love. And when someone disrespects you, someone that you really love, don't you speak up for them? That's exactly what's going to start happening on your life. You don't let people say whatever they want to say. You don't look for approval anymore. You do and say what is necessary to stand up for yourself in any situation. And I know it can be hard to like yourself sometimes, especially if you have a tough past or a mental illness or whatever. But no one said it was going to be easy. The thing is, it's necessary. Learning how to love yourself is not only going to fix this, but help you with so many other things in your life. About a year ago, I used to cry every day in the mirror. I hated the way I looked. And I hated everything about myself. I felt like this will last forever, like I would never change, like I would never become a better person. I would do and accept other people crossing my boundaries just because I was afraid that if I tried to confront them, I would have no friends. Which made me end up in a very toxic friendship for over than a year. This person made my life hell, disrespected me, manipulated me, gaslighted me, and did everything that they could ever do. But today I look in the past and I see that maybe none of it would have happened if I simply said, do not ever talk to me again. And the first time they ever crossed my boundaries the way they did. All of it could have been simply avoided if I simply had a little bit of self-respect at that time. This wasn't the first times that somebody treated me this way. I was treated badly a lot of times by people who thought they were better than me. And of course that them treating me this way was their fault. But it was also my fault for letting them treat me this way. My fault for never excluding them from my entire life in the first time they disrespected me. And this is one of the things I'm going to talk about. Listen, one of the biggest people mistakes is victim mentality. If I'm a dumb person who have no self-respect, who have no boundaries, who have no nothing, why should I expect other people to don't take advantage of me? People are a mess. They're jerks. You can't avoid it. If you're consciously letting other people disrespect you, cross your boundaries with the thought of like, oh, but why are people like this? I don't get it. They should change or whatever. Stop thinking that the other people are the ones who have to change. If you let them disrespect you and do whatever they want, you're the one who have to change right here. But anyways, I was so sick of constantly hating myself every day. So then one day, I woke up and I thought, I don't want my life to be like this anymore. I don't want to spend my nights crying and hating on myself anymore. Like, this is miserable. So I got up my bed and I started to search for YouTube videos, like how to love yourself, how to have a better self-esteem, how to be respected. And I started to actually do what those people were saying. Positive affirmations, writing down the person I wanted to be, writing down my own feelings. And this thing of affirmations and journaling your feelings may sound stupid, but it actually works. It started to work for me. I slowly went from a person that hated herself constantly and spent nights crying about her looks to a person who can almost wear everything confidently and not feel so bad about it anymore. To a person who can look in the mirror and say, damn, I look pretty today. It's a process. I'm still working on it, but I have improved so much. And you know why? Because that one day I decided to get up my bed and try to change. And it wasn't a miracle, it wasn't black magic, it wasn't anything of that. It was simply me taking the decision. And my younger self would be so much proud. And listen, if I can do it, you can do it as well. If so many people do it, if so many people go through the pain and finally see the light, why can't you? Remember that I said that self-love also comes with self-respect? I also started to move away from my toxic friendships, from people that I had emotional dependency on, but I knew they weren't good for me. Because once you start to love yourself more and apply self-respect, you start to build this mindset of, is this person treating me the way that I deserve to be treated? Because if you just let somebody disrespect you, you're disrespecting yourself. And you don't let other people disrespect somebody you love the same way that you don't do it to yourself. Another thing is you cannot expect to be loved and respected if you can't even respect and love yourself. The way that you let other people treat you is the way that you are treating yourself. If you think, oh, I'm ugly, oh, I'm boring, oh, I have nothing interesting, then why would not other people think the same thing? At the end of the day, who do you have? These people that you so much want the approval of? Or literally yourself? Sometimes it's better to be called selfish, to be called arrogant, because nowadays simply showing self-respect and being confident is a sign of narcissism. When a woman respects herself and wants someone on her level, she's called pity. When a man respects himself and asks for someone on his level, people say that he will lower his standards. So let me make it very clear right here. If someone gets bothered by you setting limits, it's because they were benefiting from you not having them. You lose friendships, you lose relationships, because you will start to notice that some of the people that don't respect you are sometimes your own friends. Remember this, people company are temporary. People come and go into your life all the time, but your dignity, it never leaves unless you let those toxic people stay in your life. Most of these people that you so want the approval of are people who are not going to be in your life in like 2-3 years, and it may sound like a lot, but you're a young person. You have a whole life ahead. And while they are in your life and you think about their judgment, think about this. Are they paying your bills? Are they contributing to your health? Are they contributing to your happiness? Because if that person is trying to mind your business, it means that they're contributing some way, right? No? Okay, then they do not matter. Another thing is that you should never wait for them to reach the limit. You should never wait for someone to reach max level of disrespect to finally speak up. If this person is starting to disrespect you more and more, it means they're getting more comfortable for doing it. Set this basic boundary, set this basic rule up. Okay, so the first time you disrespect me is the last. You never do it again. You're gonna see how much this is gonna change your life. Like, tell them you don't do that again. If you do it again, we're done. You don't do this again. No second chance. And if they're against it, if they call you sensitive or anything, if they say you're overreacting, put an end to your connections with this person. You should never ever let other people set your boundaries for yourself. These are your boundaries and you stick to them. These are your standards and you stick to them. That's it. For them, it might not be a big deal. And let me tell you something. Most of the times, even if you explain how you're feeling about it and that is a big deal for you, not everyone will understand it. But the thing is, it's not really about understanding. It's about respecting. Maybe they'll try to gaslight you with things like, oh, but I didn't know that you thought of it as a big deal. Actually, you don't really need to. If it's a big deal for me, then period. If you think that what they did was a big deal, then it was a big deal. If you think that you crossed your limits, then they did cross your limits. Nobody should ever lower your feelings just because they can't understand it. You're the one feeling it. You're the one being hurted right here. So if someone hurted you, someone did something, it is a big deal. Doesn't matter how they think of it as a small thing. Your background is different from theirs. Your perceptions of things are different from theirs. Don't let them gaslight you into thinking that you're overreacting. Because people did this to me. But let me tell you something. You're the one who knows yourself the best. You know what hurts and you know what doesn't. Another important thing is watching out for their words and actions. You know, the biggest way of manipulating someone is making them think that they are your friends. They may tell you, oh, but you're my friend, you can trust me, you should trust me or whatever. But none of it means anything if their words don't line up with their actions. So watch out. Do they respect you? Do they treat you well? And you know the worst thing is that the person who talks with you, who walks with you, who are with you, might be your biggest enemy and you don't even know it. You have to learn how to recognize and stay away from these people. Because one thing that I learned is that being friends with two-sided face people is already disrespecting on its own. You don't want to be with people like this. You don't even want to be in the same space as them. I generally think that my biggest problem back then was that I was an easy person to gaslight. I would notice people disrespecting me and crossing my boundaries. But then when I would try to confront them, they would gaslight me into thinking that I was the one overreacting. And guess who were these people? Guess who were these people that manipulated me, that disrespected me, that did all this? The people that I called as my own friends. So you need to watch out for absolutely everyone, including your own family sometimes. Everyone is on the camp. Everyone is playing the game. If you don't learn how to play the game, you're played by the game. Put in your head that everyone is able to betray you. everyone is able to disrespect you. But the thing is, it doesn't matter who it is, you should not let it pass. And the last thing is, start to find ways to help you heal. Try to change environments, because your environment inflicts a lot on your mental health. There are environments that are worse than others, there are people that are worse than others, and you should acknowledge that. Go for a walk, spend time with your parents, spend time with your dog, read a book, paint, play an instrument. Because listen, the last thing you ever want to do is isolate yourself. It will not help you. Actually, it will make things worse. So try to surround yourself with the people or the things you like, and do things that will help clear up your mind and your soul. Because me personally, when I feel like things are getting out of control, I go for a walk at night. I expose myself to the outward and the nature more, because it helps me breathe and think for a minute and feel like I'm in control again. And yeah, the process will hurt, but I can tell you that it's worth it. Loving yourself is worth it. Prioritizing yourself is worth it. Maybe people in your past or in your childhood made you think that you don't deserve to be loved or to even love yourself. But listen, no one should ever have this power to tell you how you should see yourself. The power is on you and nobody else. And yeah, you may be called selfish, you may be called arrogant, you may be called petty, but at the end of the day, you only have yourself and not those people. So yeah, that's it. I hope you liked the video though. If you did, leave your subscribe, share it with someone else. And always remember that you're the one that's in control of everything in your life. You're the one that's able to change that. Maybe one decision is already enough. Okay? So yeah, that's it. Thank you. See you next time.